Awesome. Well, we'll see. Oh, there we go. We got enough. I was just about turning around. I was like, do we have games here? Do you guys see what we're seeing? I'm not just going crazy. There are picks in front of me.
All right. So this is a little bit more like it, I think, for MGB. They got the Centaur Shadow Shaman. We've seen this lane be fantastic. It applies a ton of pressure, lots of kill potential. The Shadow Shaman's lockdown is a little bit more reliable than, say, the Chen Tusk that they picked in the previous game, so they're better equipped to deal with these more elusive heroes. You know, if we see your Void, or your Morphling, or Storm, or Ember, anything like this, they've now got the tools to kind of deal with that, which I think is looking good. Though Mineski's still sticking to their guns, still playing these really kind of aggressive, fast strategies, it looks like, because they pick up the Beastmaster and the Lone Druid.
Every single Mineski draft, I feel like there's always like 2 or 3 heroes that can pressure lanes and pressure towers.
Yeah.
That's never something that Mineski drafts lack and don't have. We saw it last game with the Enigma, the Beastmaster, and everything that went into that one. We're already seeing here with the opening 2 picks, Lone Druid, Beastmaster. They have the ability to pressure towers, and pressure towers with even just a solo core. Last game was a Morphling. You leave him in a 1v1 or he gets a free lane, he'll take your tower. Lone Druid does the same thing here. So I imagine it may be a similar set where Lone Druid starts off in a dual lane, then eventually that support rotates out, and Lone Druid's happy to just play on his own.
Yeah, for sure. So this time around, they are going to ban out the Broodmother. So it seems like they might have... they don't want to be forced to adjust to put the Beastmaster mid. I think that they have a different plan in mind for kind of what they want Moon and JT playing this game. They don't want to be forced into like, okay, send KP mid on the Beastmaster to deal with the Brood. And
similar to to the PA ban that you mentioned in this game compared to last game, it's like they're maybe just getting ahead of the adjustments that are being made. Because Newbee.MGB, it's like they lost, it was somewhat because of draft, they're going to look to change their draft up. They may look to first to a PA. They may look to 4th or 5th pick a Broodmother. So I think Mineski are aware of that and just trying to make sure they cover their bases a bit.
Yeah, certainly that they stay ahead of that a little bit. I wonder what they're going to do about this Centaur Shadow Shaman lane. Like if they try and just leave somebody up there on an island, like put the position 3 there, or are they going to try and contest the lane actively? Yeah. And maybe they pick something. Maybe we see something like a Lich or something to go up there and help deal with the Shadow Shaman Centaur.
I'm always a fan of contesting a Shaman lane. If you just say, okay, we're going to lose that lane, that's what Shaman wants. He's going to
get every deny.
Yeah, he excels when he has these like when he's in the strong lane against a weaker lane. Where he struggles is when there's another strong lane on the other side, particularly if they have some way to get on top of the Shaman or nuke him, slow him from afar. Very slow hero. We saw what it was like a Lich plus PA destroy a Shaman the other day, and I think that's something that, if I'm in Mineski's shoes, I'm thinking, yeah, that's a strong lane, but Shaman is not a strong hero against strong lanes as well.
Yeah, if you have a way to go on the Shadow Shaman, then I think that's where you're fine. And a way to interrupt the Shackle, of course, as well. Because otherwise, if your support doesn't have an interrupt, then your core is just going to get shackled for the full duration, and the Shaman's not really going to be too worried. So something to look out for here. The Slark does still end up getting banned at the end of the day, and a Tinker ban, somewhat interesting from MGB, as they're actually going to be the ones to take the Lich.
Yeah, Tinker's always been a Moon signature hero. I'd say it's easily maybe his best hero, or top 2 or 3. And obvious synergy with Beastmaster, Lone Druid, they've got summons that you can boot to travel onto, and it just gives you a nice explosive hero to pair with a objective taker. Lone Druid isn't going to be making plays, isn't going to be dishing out damage. He's just there to take objectives, farm, scale into the late game. You need a hero like a Tinker, Invoker style, like flashy mid to pair with it.
And I think the Tinker would be annoying because it could leave them in the same situation as last game, where they're just unable to take towers, and Mineski are just cruising around the map, taking tower after tower after tower. So I totally understand
it's pretty good when you are pushing to have a Tinker, because he can just
lay down the march.
Yeah, you lay down march, no one can defend. He also has those bottle trips to Fountain. He heals everyone up with the TP in, bottle them all up. You still have
That's what they've been doing with the X marks the spot on the Kunkka.
So
that sustain has been super duper useful. And a lot of it is sustain in ways that you wouldn't necessarily expect. Like the Phoenix heals are obvious, but then Kunkka constantly giving people the opportunity to head back, heal up, grab a couple items. I think that's proved to be very, very strong.
Yep. So Skyreth Mage, magic damage, maybe that's going to be a way of securing the lane against Centaur Shaman.
Good with the Beastmaster, of course, as well. Ooh. And okay, so MGB,
game on.
They pick up the Anti-Mage.
AM with Lich is always so hard to deal with the magic and physical damage resistance.
Yeah.
We'll see what Mineski's response is. They may see this and say, let's play super fast pace, just look to push, win this game, end it early.
Yeah, and the matchup against Skywrath Mage, I think, is even improved now with the active counterspell versus previously just having the spell shield. Sure, the silence is annoying, but potentially there is a chance that you could block that if you get the right timing. And once you have your Manta Style, you just don't really care. And Skywrath is just a big mana pool for you to mana void in every single fight. But the AM is still kind of slow. The laning stage can be decent, but he really needs to get that Battle Fury. He really needs to get the acceleration going. And Mineski, we're talking about it. They can play fast. They can be aggressive. And that's where we might see Anti-Mage struggle a little bit. But the best strategy we've seen from MGB is play 4v5 for a while, have their carry go and just do his thing, farm up, and then have the carry enter the game and just win right there. So I think that's exactly what Anti-Mage does. Could be what they're looking towards.
See if Mineski allows. They could even just go straight back to that Kunkka that's worked for them, I feel. That's been a very stable mid and does play pretty well with these fast-paced strats because of the X TP homes.
For sure.
Because he just comes online very fast with just a couple braces. That's a hero I wouldn't mind seeing out of Mineski. And also just a mid you can pick not knowing your opponent and always have a good lane. Or at least an acceptable lane.
Could we see the KP Axe here, maybe?
Oh, different. Juggernaut.
Okay, so well, it's more push sustain.
Yeah,
it's more 5-man.
Fast-paced hero gives them either a Jug or a Lone Druid mid, potentially, but we've also seen some teams run Lone Druid offlane. I feel like that's not a Mineski thing, though. No. I could be wrong. I mean, KP does play some of those, micro-style heroes like the Enigma with the Eidolons, but...
Yeah, I mean, he's been known for his Naga Siren for a long time, hasn't really been in vogue for a while, but he's certainly got those skills. Yeah, I'm still wondering about the potential Axe pick. I feel like there is a, Mineski, they could have like Febby, Skywrath Mage, Highlight Eye, Beastmaster, Axe, sort of that quintessential counter pick to the Anti-Mage. Could be somewhat of an option here, though I do think that MGB have ways to deal with the Axe kind of in lane. Both of their supports have nukes to be able to get rid of the Battle Hunger fairly easily, and they've got enough lockdown and damage to kill him if he tries to creep skip. But the creep skipping could be useful because that might drag the Shadow Shaman away from the top lane if they decide to go for something like that. And it seems unlikely that Mineski are going to spend their last pick on a support, so I feel like I'm leaning towards it actually being the Pilot Eye Beastmaster, and we're looking for either some kind of core to round out the draft.
And that seems somewhat what MGB are thinking. They banned the Puck, which could be a KP offlane hero or a mid. If you're gonna, whether Lone Druid's playing in the mid lane or the offlane, you can't get another greedy farming core, and Puck's one of those, I'm gonna farm a Blink Dagger and go around, make plays, whether you run Puck mid or offlane. What will they get? They get Ogre. They will be a support last pick, presumably. Right. Some teams have run this in a 3-position role, but this to me suggests we're gonna see a core Beastmaster.
I think so. Yeah, man, they have a lot of push though now. They're gonna have the attack speed from the Beastmaster. They've got the attack speed from the Ogre. There's probably gonna be a Vlad somewhere in there. MGB are gonna have their work cut out for them. The Frost Shield is going to help, but I don't think that's gonna be a complete solution for them in this game. They're just gonna have to hope that they can go somewhat even out of the laning stage. Hopefully get a fast Centaur Blink Dagger in there somewhere. And Alwen can have some decent impact. I feel like we've seen him have more impact. Well, we saw him have more impact on the Centaur yesterday than he had on the Sand King today. So hopefully he has a decent Centaur game here for MGB's sake.
Well, they need a mid, and it's going to be a Kunkka themselves. So they go for the old pirate. Gives them a way to defend their towers, perhaps team fight a bit better. I quite like this hero. It just felt good all tournament long. So. No reason not to go for something along these lines. We'll see where 430 ends up matching, who he ends up matching up against, because Moon is actually picking up the Jug. Jug potentially could be a mid laner against Kunkka, or we may just see a lane swap and see Lone Druid go mid and Moon play the safe lane. This to me, JT is typically the Lone Druid player for this team, so they may just do a lane swap if they need to.
I wonder, I don't think that the Jug is necessarily much of a counter to the Kunkka on the mid lane, but I could see the Lone Druid being up against the Centaur Shaman lane being a good idea. Because once he gets the fear up on the bear, once he has the Savage Roar available, he's pretty safe at that point. Like if he ever gets shackled, he can, so long as the bear is in the right position, he can just get a fear on the Centaur or a fear on the Shadow Shaman, and then they can disengage that way. So I wouldn't mind seeing them running the Lone Druid safe lane. And that would also free up their supports a little bit more to kind of move around. That's the one thing that I feel like we haven't really seen teams doing. Hunk is a strong mid lane, but he's not very mobile, and he is very susceptible to being ganked. He's got a lot of HP, but not really a whole lot of mobility, especially now that people aren't even buying phase boots on the hero. So if they can afford to have the lone druid just hold down top, and then have Pylai die and Febby just running at mid lane over and over and over again, I think that could be a fantastic way to play this
And you've got a jug, so between Blade Fury and later on Omni Slash, you've got a lot of kill potential. Yeah, all you need is like a concussive for a slow or an ignite with a fire blast, just so you can stay on top of the Blade Fury. So that does sound like a decent idea with JT playing a hero like Lone Druid, who doesn't need a whole lot of help once he gets off to an okay start. So
yeah, I think that would be good.
Well, we'll see what comes out from these two teams. It is a must-win game for Newbee.MGB if they want to stay in the upper bracket. There is a lower bracket where they would drop down to face OG, but for now, here we are. Time to kick things off in game number 2.
Should be a good one. I really like, I don't know if I like MGB's draft more than Mineski's, but I certainly like it way more than their draft from the previous game. So we'll see what happens. And they're starting with an immediate smoke. So going to come out here, at least get some wards down. I don't know if this is really going to result in anything too interesting.
Yeah, a lot of teams like to get that high ground mid ward down while smoked, so you can get on the other side of the river. It's way less likely to be dewarded, gives you some better vision, and just helps you out, although looks like Juggernaut is in position to scout that if it did happen, so he plants it on his side of the river. Top lane, Beastmaster, KP looking to swoop on in. They get out the early Frost Shield with a blink in. They're going to get some good damage off on the Beastmaster here. 3 MGB heroes up here. You couldn't get in range for his Shackles, though, in large part due to this Borer, which will get sniped. Plus 27 gold going the way of the Lich there.
Yeah. So, okay, so the anti-mage skills blink level 1, Catyu's got shackle level 1. They were really hoping for that kill. I think maybe if the anti-mage gets in front of the Beastmaster and they get some body blocks maybe, they would have had an opportunity there, but instead just going to contest 4 heroes up here. Down bottom, Awen's just sitting off to the side, but it looks like Mineski should be able to get both of these bounties. And just going to end up being 2 apiece. Nothing too interesting going on.
Yep. Often, kind of common where you see some teams just bring both supports initially to the same lane to try and get a first blood and guarantee a double bounty rune. Downside is you're going to have to now TP one of those supports to the bottom lane for that dual lane, which I assume will be coming. I don't really think we'll be seeing a tri lane up here, but it is an anti-mage, so one of the heroes that you maybe do sometimes consider running a full-on tri lane for, but I think Catyu just wants his magic stick before TPing down bottom since he won't have access to that shot.
The amount of regen that he has, to me, seems like suggests that he might be playing up here and just anticipating that he's going to absorb a ton of. He's going to be absorbing a ton of the Skywrath.
At least looking for an early first blood still potentially. He is swooping around here. Has his Shackles. Catyu gets a right click off. He's taking a lot of damage. Needs to be careful with the Frost Shield. That will block a lot of KP's right clicks here. Febby, knowing that he's probably going to go down, tries to get the counter kill on Catyu, but nicely done. Tri-lane action up top. Finds the first blood. KP unable to punish Catyu for his aggression.
Yeah, and I think Catyu wants to do the same thing again. They've got the Shackle. They don't have the Frost Shield just yet, but really trying to set this anti-mage up for success here in the early game. And they're just wrapping around again. Catyu's looking for it. Blink forward. They don't have the Frost Shield for a little bit. Can they finish this kill? Febby, a few more auto attacks. He's getting slowed down.
Looks very dead here.
Yeah. Anti-mage doesn't grab it, but Protoss, still a nice kill. They did lose the Centaur in the meantime.
I mean, you're running this 3v2 lane and getting kills. Well, the downside should be that Centaur is getting nothing down bottom. He's got 1 deny, 0 last hits, and he's against a dual lane. So the kill potential a bit lower because it's a lone druid who, until he hits level 5, doesn't really have a lot of kill threat. But you still need to be able to zone him, and in this case, they did get a kill.
Yeah. So Owen's got a ton of retaliate stacks here. As soon as they rotate in one of these supports, I think they could find an opportunity, but they're really trying to protect this anti-mage. And when I say protect, I mean just keep on finding kills. They blink forward onto KP. This Frost Shield synergy is just so nice. Protoss finds himself a killing spree. They are going to rotate Pylai Die up here, looking for the counter kill. Protoss will finally be brought down, but there's another Shackle onto Febby. He's losing some more mana. Anti-mage not backing off just yet. He wants to burn him out, and they actually finish the kill with the Ether Shock and the auto attacks.
Wow.
All right, looking a lot better for Mr. Game Boy here at the beginning of game number 2.
AM getting involved in all this action, all these kills is definitely a nice start for him.
Yeah.
Did get only 1 of the 4 kills so far, just assists on the others. So it's not a huge amount of gold. And these early game kills don't necessarily lead to a lot of golden XP unless you secure farm as a result of them, which he is doing, so.
Yeah. Moon is doing quite well at the mid lane, actually. This
Sure
matchup is going pretty evenly against the Kunkka.
Would have expected to be a little bit Kunkka favored, but Jug with way more denies so far.
Cat
Maybe
U
it's
at
just
bottom.
Moon favored.
Rotating around, JT's actually running towards him. They didn't expect this rotation, and the retaliate stacks are there. Quite a lot of damage. JT might be able to survive. He's healing a little bit off of the link. Cat U still chasing, doesn't have the mana just yet. Finds enough for another Ether Shock. Now JT's still juking.
JT.
He finds the juke through the trees and looks like he might actually just be out of there.
Oh, he goes for the last hit, doesn't get the last hit. Oh, he TP's the bear. I think that might have been a misclick. Oh no, he's going to bring back some regen. That's actually way better. Smart play from him, not a misclick at all. Gets the bear back. He'll bring in some tangos and salves. And his lane could have gone downhill quickly there if he wasn't careful. But puts himself in a nice little position to stay here, stay active, brings out some Wraith Bands as well. One of the big reasons why Lone Druid is such a strong hero nowadays is because you do have these Wraith Bands, which you can just stack 2 or 3 of, and you don't even have to hog the courier because your bear can TP back for you.
Yeah, he can just completely be out on an island all by himself here at bottom. Doesn't need help from the courier, doesn't need help from his supports. Can just kind of relax. Mid lane's still going really well for Moon. I don't know if this is Ferrari not being, I don't know 100% if he's a Kunkka player or not, or what the deal is, but yeah, seems like Moon is doing just fine. I mean, Jug does certainly have the armor and the sustain to deal with the constant cleave.
And it's what we see there, where it's just you just run at him, and well, that's a bit of a miss micro. 75 gold given away, but you run at him and you just try and get those crits for a good harass. But I would say less so this matchup being Jug favored, it's just Moon outplaying 430.
Oh, looking at bottom, nice fear though, interrupting the stomp. They're still chasing onto JT, but
Could still be fine here. Just turn and fight a bit though. See if JT gets wrapped around it again. Cat U in the trees with boots. JT needs to be a little bit careful about this one. Gets shackled up.
Body
Looking for the
blocks.
body blocks. There will still be a hoof stomp here. JT getting a lot. AM TP's in. JT will be brought down and Gia with the last hit.
Really loving the rotations from MGB so far. Protoss, they know that he's alone up here at top, so Pylai just dives the tower with his boots. Frost Shield helping him a little bit, but that last Arcane Bolt dropping him low. Do they have enough left in the tank? They do finish him off. Both of these Mineski supports are extremely low in the trees, but nobody that can come and do anything about this, apparently. Okay, Febby's still getting trapped. Okay, the creep wave gets pushed in. He's going to be okay. And Febby, I don't know, maybe he even runs to the tier 2 and takes a quick trip back to base.
Lich swoops on in to steal both bounty runes, knowing that he had vision of them under the tower. He knows they can't get there that quickly, so that's actually a much bigger win for MGB in the end, getting bounty runes. It was Lich they killed, he just respawned so damn fast. Back at bottom, JT in some trouble, gets a nice Savage Roar off.
Been very nice.
I like that he doesn't prioritize canceling the shackle there. He knows he just needs to stop Centaur getting in close. He's the bigger hero to Savage Roar.
So long as he stops the follow-up, he's just fine. Moon is behind the tower at the moment on mid lane.
Sure, why
Trading
not?
places a little bit with Ferrari. I mean, feeling safe. He doesn't have the spin, so can't spin TP. They're rotating over with Febby, but only level 2 for now, so not that threatening.
And Jug with low mana pool. He didn't actually have enough mana for an Omni Slash. He's bringing out more Wraith Bands and a Clarity.
Okay, so Pi just with the 1-1-1 build so far. JT is level 5, so they need to be careful of the Entangle. Anti-Mage a little bit more threatened as a result. I don't know if they're actually going to leave. I don't know if AM wants to be down here, actually. He wanted that kill, but he doesn't want to actually be matched up against the Lone Druid in lane. He can't really farm against him. Or
the AM's struggling quite a lot right now, and I don't think there's any lane where AM can farm, is the problem. All 3 of these cores match up very well against AM in lane and can kind of bully him. And outside of just, keeping the supports, hugging the AM to secure his farm, the only place he can easily go is the jungle, which is where he now finds himself.
Yeah, and this is very slow jungling as well, though.
I think this is concerning that he's jungling this early on.
And yeah, they're just giving away this bottom lane to Mineski to come and push in here. Catapult's going for it up top. Cat U's still just lurking in the trees. KP's completely backed off into the jungle himself. But they are taking a lot of damage. They've even bloodlusted the catapult. AM knows that he needs to try and pull this creep wave off, but Mineski not going to let it. And he can't afford to get hit multiple times by the Spirit Bearer. If he gets entangled, that's going to be a lot of damage.
Yeah, his blink on cooldown means he has to back off, but he does draw those creeps away. JT needs to be careful. That bear very low. Uh-oh. Accidentally loses it there to...
Frost shield.
Oh, who's going to get it? Does go to the way of the Radiant there, so no denied gold. That early gold can be very important to hit those item timings, and Mineski get their first tower of the game.
I mean, what item timings? Everybody's just stacking Wraith Bands.
That's true. You know, it's that next Wraith Band.
Yeah, it's always got to get that next item. Cat, getting caught out here. Is he going to die? No, just manages to TP out. Didn't have any way to interrupt that one. KP not quite level 6, unfortunately.
Getting there. But still a bit of a ways to go. Gonna come back to his lane while JT, similar thing to last game with the Morph. He just plays his own game. He plays kind of this solo safe lane pushing carry that will just play defensively when there's heroes missing, but if he can, he'll look for those split push and just free farm opportunities. But hey, they are collapsing on him. Kunkka rotating on in. Could be a nice kill with an Invis rune. Very high chance of success, except for the fact that I believe Mineski saw him pick this one up with their Observer wards.
And Pi is looking in the neighborhood. If he can interrupt the X combo.
Oh, he saw the AM running in. I think he knows by now, but JT's baiting almost. Looking for a route.
430. Can he actually find him? He's still thinking about it. Anti-Mage not level 6. I think that's what he wants just off of this creep wave, but okay, this creep about to die. That little bit of extra damage would be helpful. Okay, AM 6 now, but 430 not willing to try with Pylai Die hanging around. Because if he stuns him right as he needs to pull back the X, then that gank completely whiffs, and they might even end up losing one hero.
Even a Savage Roar could mess up your timing with the X Torrent or...
But that's a big waste of time for 430. He was just watching the Anti-Mage get like 2 CS that entire time. And KP, just with the Bassi, is going to begin pushing. He's got the Vlads already picked up.
Yeah, this build just seems so strong on Beastmaster now. Whether it's support or core, you get this item super early and just take towers and fight with your team. The aura is very good in the early game. Mid lane, Ogre was taking over the lane from the core, and he will get picked off here. Febby not really able to do too much in exchange, but he's just saying, okay, this is my lane to get some XP now. Make sure that this tower doesn't get any pressure onto it, while the rest of his team, the core heroes, they're pushing top. They're going to go from tier 1 to even tier 2 potentially.
They got the Stampede. They want this Febby kill. Nice silence, but looks like Febby's still just going to get run down here. Nothing that he can really do. And Centaur securing that for himself. Up top, they spin down Katyu. They're not defending this top tier 2 tower.
Yeah, they're going to TP an Anti-Mage, but that's even a risky-ish TP in itself.
He's just getting punched.
Turn and fight. Yeah,
this damage with the Wraith Bands is actually
that
huge.
Attack speed is
the
insane.
Vlads as well, right? The Vlads and the Inner Beasts.
Doug seeing it plus 32 damage, not the highest, but with all the extra attack speed from Beastmaster, combined with those Vlad's auras, he is damn scary.
And all this attack speed is going to be crazy with the Omni Slash as well, right? It scales much better with
when he
your
was
attack
attacking
damage.
there, I thought he had like a Yasha or something. I'm like, whoa, he's attacking fast. Not so much now. It was very much the Beastmaster aura this early on, just being an incredible tool, even with just 2 points. And well, Mineski, it's the same strat we've seen game after game from them. Let's just go from tower to tower without losing towers. Teams just aren't punishing this. They're getting these greedy carries, and because of that, they're not able to kind of trade towers with Mineski.
I really feel like it's 430 who needs to be fighting for MGB at the moment, but I guess he just feels like he can't actually kill these Mineski cores, right? Especially the Kunkka. Especially the Juggernaut, right? He's just gonna spin the X every single time. Not really too concerned, and yeah, Mineski just going from building to building to building. Can they finally stop them? They're smoked up now. They will get the go onto Febby, but is that going to be enough?
He takes the brunt of the spells here. He's still alive even. Looks like they're just gonna leave him to die and TP out most of these other heroes who will escape, it seems. So they get a tier 2 tower. Trade to Skywrath, they don't take what could have been a risky fight. There's maybe a chance they can win that if they land some good spells like burst down an AM or a core hero with an Omni/Roar, but Mineski's forte is pushing, not team fighting right now. Whereas MGB, you know, they've got Centaur, they've got Kunkka, they've got Lich, they look like the way better team fighting lineup.
And it's a scary place to fight because MGB can always just retreat up this hill. They already had the high ground, and they've got an active shrine. To be able to fight around. So I just don't think there's any point, especially once the boat buff comes out, right? At that point, you're just not really going to kill anybody. And you got what you came for. You lost a support. No big deal for Mineski.
And Mineski immediately go back to this split farming that we've seen from them. They're just out farming their opponents, all 3 cores doing well, and then they'll wait till they find a weak point where they can just push some towers. Yeah. What is Jug ended up buying here? I think it's on the Creel. Keep an eye on top lane first. There's JT. Savage Roar onto the Shaman. Wants to get this kill. Instead, it's going to be the Ogre that MGB go on. The Chain Frost does bounce to KP. We'll slow him a little bit, but KP should be fine here. Double Boars and Aurora available.
And they've now got the Mystic Flare as well for the Skywrath Mage. So Febby naturally going to link up with KP, going to try and find a kill there, potentially use their ultimates in combination.
Definitely one of those games that kind of highlights, you know, these kills don't really matter sometimes. Because MGB are up 9 kills to 4, but they are struggling to take objectives or really progress the game. They're not taking towers. They're not getting meaningful kills. Most of their kills have just been on these 2 supports.
Yeah. And Mineski just heads straight into Roshan. Why not, right? They're good at taking objectives, and Roshan included in that. That's so much attack speed. The Jug is doing so much damage.
It's like Moonshard attack speed at this point now. It is insane. Bloodlust plus Yasha, they are going to look to contest this one on the MGB side, but they're too late to stop the Roach from happening, and they may just need to back off. No, they're going to try and fight this one. 430 lands a torrent, the boats are followed up with the Omni side. Slicing on through, takes out the Centaur, so a 1-for-1 trade, but the bigger kill going to Mineski's way, and that's the hero kill and the Roshan. As 430 gets slowed, and the run buff is going to be wearing off, so that means 430 in a bit of trouble here, even with the Ice Armor. Jug's just going to say, well, screw it, I'll go for the Blade Fury instead, and that's going to be an easy kill on the Kunkka. They're now poised to maybe take some more tier 2 towers. Mineski just steamrolling.
No reason to stop, right? They can just keep on going. They've got the sustain from the healing ward. Everybody's still full HP. More than enough damage to take these tier 2 towers at this point, and the anti-mage pick still just not really doing anything just yet for MGB.
Just such a slow hero to come online, and we're seeing how Mineski can punish the greed of some of these carries, and Gia in a similar situation to last game where all he can do is kind of farm these side lanes and threaten to split push. There's no opportunity for him to team fight. Slark does come online earlier than Anti-Mage, like we saw last game, but the issue is he doesn't fight into these 5-man lineups, and that's exactly what Mineski have become at this point.
And same as Slark, he doesn't really threaten the buildings early on either, right? I think that's what AM is really missing here, is that he needs the tier 1s to be dead, both for the extra gold, and he needs the room to work with. At the moment, there's just nowhere for him to move around on the map and actually use that mobility from the 4 points in Blink to continue finding farm. I mean, look, Anti-Mage is just hiding in trees at the moment.
That's, yeah, a bad sign. When he needs to be hitting that Battle Fury timing as soon as possible to start pressuring these lanes and pressuring towers, but hasn't been able to do so. Moonfire is a double damage rune, so we could see a quick move towards a team fight or a push here. It looks like he is headed towards these Ancients, where he's going to find a Kunkka. Roar comes out. It should be an easy kill. They get the pick off, and they can now go look to push this bottom lane as well. Wrapping in behind. I think they know Kachu is looking to TP on out. Pylite die. Oh, very close to finding him. Couldn't quite get the sun off in time.
But it's just the same game plan it's been this entire time, right? Just run towards a building. If you find any kills along the way, sure. But what they're really looking for is this bottom
could be
push.
In a bit of a dangerous spot here. He needs to be careful. He's got the Aegis, but he's completely isolated. Yeah, he's playing it cautiously. JT, very heads up from him. I love that Lone Druid's able to stay up there and like pressure the AM's farm a bit and draw attention to himself without dying. That's just so important for this Mineski draft.
He's wasting time and he's scouting as well.
Yeah.
He knows where these heroes are. Moon's just sitting on the high ground. He's not the one with the Aegis, but he's got plenty of sustain. The healing ward's there.
Yep, he's got Blade Fury if he needs to get the hell out of there. Does get caught by a Hex, but no, he's fine. He's going to Blade Fury, hit the tower a bit, probably going to back off in a second. The healing ward's still there. The Ghost Ship completely whiffs. And Lone Druid can now just rotate on in, I want to say, and probably look to push this one. They glyph the Siege Creep to keep it alive as well. Jug still being healed up by this healing ward. And Moon going to go for an Omniscience. Takes out 2 instantly. Buyback on the Shaman. They want Centaur as well. He can't get out of this one. The Stampede's not available because he's silenced. And Mineski have just destroyed MGB.
Huh? What can MGB even do? The Anti-Mage isn't even coming back. He knows that this is just a free lane of Rex. They put down the Mass Serpent Wards hoping to defend a little bit more. Kunkka's just getting locked down. 430 about to fall. They also have Aurora under the Shadow Shaman. Mineski looking for even more. They're ignoring their axe for a little bit. Clean up the kills.
Well,
that might just be it here, Parker.
Yeah, I was like, it might be a one-laner axe, but I think you're right. It might be just game over at this point. They'll just go to the second. How do you defend? Who defends? AM can't. He's making the only decision that's available to him, which is just keep pushing that top lane, keep trying to, draw heroes away. Chain Frost will go out to try and delay things, but another healing ward's up. Who snipes this? Who dares to go? Centaur's like, I've got this, guys. I'm going to stampede for a healing ward. Probably pays for it with his life, and it looks like that is indeed the case with the Blade Fury finishing him off. Not really worth it in the end, although he kind of delays the push. It still doesn't feel good as the Lich barely survives the Lone Druid damage. Okay, Kunkka, X back, but this is just an Aegis. They're just trying to trade racks at this point, but I think if you're Mineski, you're like, okay, enough's enough. We got
all right,
two lanes.
anti-mage.
Let's go stop this anti-mage now. They knew what he was doing. It wasn't like AM just like snuck a tier 3 tower or a rack. Even if he took a tier 3 tower, Mineski would have done so full willingly, knowing that they are basically taking the game by getting bottom racks and the melee racks mid.
And it's the lane that they're going to be pushing next anyway, right? They're not really worried. The other sides of the map still have tier 1s, mid and bottom. So they're really not all that stressed.
AM has to start all over. AM's lane is now the bottom lane, which...
Which now has full racks creeps.
Super creeps, tier 1, tier 2. He's going to have his work cut out for him to, threaten the tier 3 tower down bottom. By the time he gets to that tier 3 tower, mega creeps for Mineski most likely.
If Mineski wanted to, they can now just leverage the 2 lanes that they've claimed already to just wait for another Roshan, right? If we ever end up in this Roshan standoff situation, they can just wait, and they can just have the creeps push, force somebody back from the MGB side, take out the shrines, make it harder to contest. I don't even think they're going to do that, though. I think they're just going to come march down top lane and look to close this one out.
Just make the simplest play. They could theoretically also just try and, get fancy. Go gank the AM. Beastmaster with a roar can very easily probably pick him off. You show 4 heroes top, Beastmaster roars, TP in, easy kill on AM, but they don't care. They know they don't need to kill the AM to win this game.
Crimson Guard buys a little bit of time.
Oh, here comes the Ghost Ship. The Crimson Guard is going to block a lot of this damage, but Moon, he just Blade Furies his way through this one. They're dropping the Serpent Wards to try and stay alive, but look at this Radiant team. Everyone is still full health here. The AM, he has finally decided to go off. He's TP'd on into this one. Moon has an Omnislide still available. Mana Boy does some good damage, but the AM gets instantly rooted. He's in trouble now. The Omnislide takes out 2 as Moon gets himself a double kill, and the AM dies as well. Buyback's coming out here. It may be the end of the push. They have some salves. They're all so low from that Mana Void. And they do decide to back off. Yeah, they're perhaps going to ping this shrine. JT just life-stealing now. He's pretty happy.
Yeah, between the Spirit Link and the Vlad's actually just heals right back up to full.
Yep.
All right.
Well, they can wait for the next healing ward. They now don't have to worry about that split push at all, so there's no rush now to be... There it was like, okay, we're going to go fast because otherwise AM is on our high ground, and then we have to address the split push. Now, AM died. He doesn't have bot lane pushing out. You can play it slower.
130 in some trouble. He ran forward, feeling confident with the Frost Shield to protect him, but he's still taking damage. They got the multicast onto him. He's turning around, looking for the combination onto Moon, but he's gotten out of it so far. The boat does land onto him, but the healing ward is still up.
That is too tanky.
It's fine. He's just got too much survivability. Now he's charging forward. They kill off the secondary support. 430 slowed up by the defusal. Can they finish him off? Yes, they can. Beyond godlike from Moon. He's even looking for the anti-mage inside of the fountain, and Katyu's going to call it GG. Mineski taking this 2-0 and heading to the grand finals.
That was not just a Mineski 2-0, not just a Mineski victory. That was a Mineski statement. That was basically them saying, who can beat us at this tournament? They crushed 2 games in a row. Their series yesterday was a convincing 2-0 as well. Right now, Mineski look by far the best team here, and Newbee.MGB, well, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board should they even get to the grand finals, and OG have to be looking at this Mineski side and saying, well, yeah, that's kind of scary. I mean, you can't think about them yet. You still got a series to play, but Mineski look like favorites going to the grand finals for sure.
Yeah, and to me, the coolest thing is that they're running the same kind of strategy, but with different heroes. Right? You look at Game 1 versus Game 2, sure, they've got the Beastmaster both times, and maybe that's going to get banned out in the grand finals, but other than that, they're still making these push strats work with a whole bunch of different things. Yeah. And Game 1 wasn't even necessarily a push strat, right? They had the late game, they had the team fight, the lanes went well, so they were able to take a lot of objectives early, and MGB didn't have any ways to respond. But it doesn't feel to me like you can look at that and say like, oh, they should have just banned the Beastmaster and they would have won for sure. No, that's not the situation.
Every hero seems replaceable. Like they banned some of those heroes like the Enigma that caused them problems in Game 1. They addressed some of the heroes from Game 1 that weren't the Beastmaster, but there's something else there that will slot on in. In this case, it's like the Nogre. Here's the Bloodlust. We push faster. We're not going to have Morphling. We're going to have Lone Druid. He pushes and pressures in a different way. So Mineski just seemed like a very complete team right now. Every individual is playing well. The strategy is coming together, and they look like they have a clear identity.
Yeah.
Well, that does it. Mineski, KP, Oz Dota in the grand finals, guys. We're going to be seeing more of them later on today in the grand finals. We're going to go back to the main stage to hear some more words from Slacks and Mish.
We're back, and we have some amazing people to interview. Give it up for Mineski, 2-0. Come join us on the stage. How are you feeling after that game?
Pretty intense. I like the games. Yeah.
Very good, very good. I believe, I don't know if you heard this, but one of our casters said, I believe, you guys are the best looking team at this tournament. You guys are the best ones in his opinion. How do you feel about that?
In his opinion, yeah.
Do you feel like the best team here so far?
Result will prove. I cannot. Yeah, result just prove to you, like the audience.
Well, I mean, I said
just
feel.
proved it.
All right, I'll take that as an answer. That works for me.
Well, you've got another win under your belt. Who do you think you're going to be facing off in the finals?
I guess it's OG. They're pretty, like, solid. Yeah, we're gonna face OG, I guess.
No, we're just going to face OG, I guess.
Ah.
Just so good. And if you do face them, who's going to win?
Us.
Yeah. You don't have to.
I'm sorry. I've done so many.
She
All
was
right.
like, yeah, man, we're going to win. We're going to destroy them.
Okay, my friend. So a lot of guys are excited in Australia to have big name teams out here like you. Great big name players as well. Let's not say that this is the last time you'll be in Australia. Hopefully the first of many. But is there anything you'd like to say to this crowd that came out here? I mean, they've been just screaming at you guys since you got here. They're very excited.
They're still screaming.
Any words for the Australia?
Australia, you got it right. I like
Any
it.
words for the Australias?
I love you all.
Great. Thank you so much, man.
Congratulations,
You're a free man.
well done.
Thank you.
I like it. You got the pronouncement down pat.
Ah, that's right.
Australia, mate.
Australia.
Australia, mate.
Throw them in a ute and feed them to the roos.
Where did you get that one from?
I made it up. I thought it was real.
I
Hey,
thought
look
you
what we
did.
got over here.
You thought it was real. Well, since we're after the first game, we have another game. You're holding it the wrong way around.
No, I'm not. Oh.
Yep, you are.
Look, guys.
A D-Link
It's a-
Wi-Fi router that will make your internet better.
That's correct.
Supposedly.
As good as Australian internet can get, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
That's all we can provide.
So this is it.
This is
What was
very
that?
nice. No, we don't ask the hecklers. What did you heckle?
I like the hecklers. The hecklers are great.
Pardon me, friend. What was that dank
Come
rip?
on, tell me what you said. All right, so we're going to give this away. We want 2 people who really want to win this to yell and scream. Oh, look, there's hands up there.
2 people. That
Look,
guy needs some internet.
He
That
needs
guy's
some
like
internet.
me.
Who else needs
Oh, my
internet?
God.
Come on, make some noise. That guy over there, both hands up. Yes, you
That
man.
man, yes.
Come
All
up
right.
here.
We've
All
got
right.
quite the challenge.
Now, while they're coming, we've got an interesting challenge for them. And I'm going to get Slacks to demonstrate what we're going to do.
What?
No,
No, we're not doing it.
No, not Shuey. Only at Slacks.
He's got the shoe.
No,
That man just wants to do
We're going
one.
to demonstrate. We're going to show Slacks and the rest of the international team some Australian pride.
Oh, right. So the contest that we are doing, my friends, welcome. I like that you
Welcome to
volunteered
the
before you
stage.
knew what the content was. Please. Oh, no, you're hers. I already got my
Come
champion.
on this side.
Get out of here.
Slacks doesn't want you, mate.
So what we're going to do is you guys need to do some karaoke up here. We want to hear some Australia tunes, all right? I don't know very much about this. She's singing something about some kind of gumbo tree or something in the backstage. So it is your choice. You can sing whatever Australian song you would like to get the crowd behind you. You guys have to clap in the crowd for the Australian song that you think most represents.
Sing along if you know the words.
Of course.
So let's get our people first. So what's your name, mate?
Harry.
And what was your
Harry,
name,
and who
sir?
have we got on that side?
I'm Tom.
Tom?
Harry and Tom, such Australian name.
I need this
Harry
round
and
of
Tom.
bad, guys.
How badly do you need internet, Harry?
Pretty badly.
All right. We got 2
Pretty
very
badly.
desperate men up here.
All right, so do you want to demonstrate first? Like, let's hear an American tune.
Oh, an
for you.
American
Come on,
song? I thought it would
demonstrate
help
some
you.
American patriarchy.
Damn, what would be an American song? Oh, of course.
There you go. He's already
Take
given
me home. country roads to the place where I belong. Easy. You better do better than that, or you will not be winning the router.
You guys can do better than that. Let's start with Tom on that side.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Don't you guys have some kind of like Australian Rochambeau to see who goes first?
Fine.
All right, here we go.
Rock, paper, scissors in the middle.
Rock, paper, scissors.
It's a best of one.
On shoot. On shoot. Rock, paper, scissors. What? All right, whatever.
All right. So Harry has to go first. I'll give you a moment while I'm prepping up the crowd to think of the Australian song you're going to sing to the crowd. And you can take this microphone and take the fans into the hearts of true blue Australian culture.
You just left him. You're supposed to be his backup.
Yeah. Okay. That's the way it's gonna be, little darling. We'll go riding on the horses, yeah, yeah. Way up in the sky, little darling. I don't know the rest.
Oh, no.
True Australian culture. Doesn't even know all the words. I love it.
All right, this will be easy.
What's
No
Tom
problem.
got for
What do you
us?
got, buddy?
Guys, I'm going an Old Faithful. I think you'll know this one a little bit. But, da-na-na-na, na-na-na-na, Advance Australia Fair. All right, so we're all going to get behind this one? All right, you guys kick us off. I'm going to join in with a crescendo. I'm not joking. I forgot.
I don't know.
I just all of a sudden I forgot the starting, guys. Just someone kick us off. Someone kick us off. Oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free, with golden soil and wealth for toil. Our land is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts, our beauty rich and rare. In history's page, let every page advance Australia fair. In joyful strains and let us sing, advance Australia fair. Let's go Australia! Woo!
Do we do the second verse that nobody actually secretly knows?
Guys, I'm a school teacher, I can do it, but I'll tell you what, for this rowdy, you can vote for me, but if you need me to do a shoey, I will do a shoey. I will do a shoey. I will.
Gracious. That was a cute song. What was that?
That's it.
All right. Well, it's time for the audience to vote, ladies and germs. We must get your applause.
Voting with a cheer for Tom.
Well, ladies and gents, well, one at a time. Well, of course, don't
Okay,
give
let's
up on your
let's
boy.
go Harry's first. All right, let's give a big round of applause to Harry. Not bad, not bad.
All
And
right.
with the Australian Patriotic National Anthem to Tom. I think we have a clear winner, don't
I think we have a
Sykes?
winner. Does anyone have a beer for Tom? Anybody got a
Who
beer out
has
there
beers?
for a shoey,
They don't
Tom?
have
I'll
beers
buy
in the
my own,
house.
that's fine. I'll buy my own.
Well, we'll get you back up here, Tom. Congratulations, you win the D-League!
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Thank
Now,
you.
how is this going to help your gaming career?
Guys, look, I play a lot of Dota. No joke, I think I have 4,000 hours. I'm only ancient. This is going to take me all the way to Immortal. So, there we go.
Tom, thank you very much.
Congratulations.
I'm so happy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Give me back my hat, Tom. Sir, a pleasure. Well done. Well, good try, sir. Wow, he looks legit. Oh, we got a beer
Oh,
for
we
Tom.
have a beer. All right.
Oh, Tom, get back here, baby!
Come back here. True Aussie style.
Oh,
Got the
no,
thumbs
killing
up.
your shirt on,
Oh.
Tom.
You gotta save the shirt. This is what you failed to do yesterday.
Oh,
Let's take it off.
Tom, yeah,
Go,
boy.
go.
Woo!
able to watch that clip with the new internet that he's just got.
Truly incredible. The two things Australians want the most. Shoes,
It's
beers, and
shoes,
internet.
internet.
We've done it all here today, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
What
At the
incredible.
AMD Dota 2 Pro Series. If you're at home watching, you should be here.
That's right, that's right. In fact, if you are here, a little announcement
Oh,
for
yeah.
you. We're going to have a nice, fun Q&A session with some of the pros out there, including, I forgot, but I know I'm going there right now. So I'm going to go right now. If you guys have a Q&A session, I'll be there. And now I get to leave. Bye.
Outside of the community stage, Q&A session with the players and Slacks, and we'll be back here very shortly for our next Best of 3. Over and out, people. Good luck. Have fun.